Gloucestershire put in another very professional Vitality Blast performance as they comfortably defeated Glamorgan by 30 runs in Cheltenham to head to the top of the South Group. Miles Hammond had people on their feet to just the second ball of the match as he dispatched Rodri Smith for a maximum after the home team had been put into bat. Hammond took 11 runs off the opening over with another 13 coming off the second, Hammond going big again off the spin of Andrew Tye. Not to be outdone, Michael Klinger also cleared the rope in the third over off the bowling of Michael Hogan as the Gloucesters got off to a hot start. Hammond was particularly impressive and a third six had him racing up to 34 runs from only 14 deliveries. But alas, he was out a couple of balls later, but only after he'd helped his side to a score of 43 for 1 from the first 4 overs. By the end of the 6 overs of power play, Klinger and Ian Cobain had added 16 more runs and the platform had been laid for a big total with the ball scorching through the outfield. At the end of 9, 88 runs were on the board, Cobain the latest batsman to take full advantage of the excellent batting conditions. But then from nowhere, 3 wickets fell for 7 runs in the space of 7 deliveries. Cobain was stumped off Salter for 26. Kieran Nima Barnett gave Chris Cook some more work to do behind the stumps to fall for 5. While Benny Howell's knock lasted just 2 deliveries, he picking out Hogan to leave Gloucestershire on 98 for 4 with 9 overs of the innings remaining. The good news was that Klinger had watched the sudden slip up from the non-striker's end and so he was on hand to pick up the innings once again. His 4th 4 to go along with his 2 sixes took him to another T20 half-century from his 38th delivery. He was left to guide his team through a crucial final 5 overs. And those 5 overs brought Gloucestershire 70 runs. Ryan Higgins, who was a Middlesex player, produced a stunning knock at this ground a year ago, put bat to ball to very good effect, taking 6s off 2 successive overs as he raced to 30, only to be run out by Colin Ingram at the start of the 18th over, he leaving with a score on 151 for 5. That brought in Jack Taylor at a great time for him, and having taken a couple of runs off his first 2 deliveries, he then thumped Hogan for successive 6s to ensure that 15 runs came off the over. In trying to go big again, Taylor holed out off Graham Wagg, only for Andrew Tye to hit the 11th 6 of a thrilling innings to take the Gloucesters into the final over with 177 runs on the board. And the momentum stayed with them going into the break as Klinger, who'd been happy to play second fiddle for much of the innings, took 3 4s off the first 4 balls of the last over, while also clearing the rope for a third time. He ended unbeaten on 77 from the 50 balls he faced during his knock, carrying the total to a very challenging 197 for 6. The Glamorgan power play was now going to be key, and as it was to turn out, they blasted 72 runs off it to give themselves a great chance. And Aaron Donald got things moving with 15 runs to his name off David Payne's opening over. 14 came from the second, with Donald looking in very good form, matching Hammond's efforts from earlier on. And like Hammond, he was out before doing too much damage. Payne with a return catch to remove the opener for 26. Tye then delivered an over which cost only 2 runs, only to see Payne dispatched for 20 from his third. Ingram doing what Ingram does in white ball cricket, smashing the ball to all parts of the ground with some brutal stroke play. Those 20 runs came off 4 successive deliveries. Usman Khawaja then joined in the fun by taking Nima Barnett for 16 runs as the Welshmen soon had themselves well ahead of the required run rate. On came Tom Smith, and with his third ball he saw the back of Khawaja, held by Payne for 33, Glamorgan on 89 for 2 in the 8th. And it was game on when Howell then dismissed Joe Burns for just a single, Smith clinging on to leave the game in the balance, the Welshman now on 93 for 3 after 9. And that soon became 108 for 4, Higgins with the huge wicket of Ingram, who he held off his own bowling to remove for 38, a wicket which now had the home team in the box seat. Even more so when Tye proved to be too good for Kyron Colson, who picked out Cobain in the deep, the big Aussie, having figures of 1 for 7 from 2 overs. Gloucestershire had pulled the game back brilliantly, and the visitors were now left to find 65 runs from the final 5 overs, with Tye to bowl 2 of them. The first of those included this wicket of Cook and cost only 3 runs. Higgins then removed Wag for 4, Cobain making no mistake in the field, as the Gloucesters continued to put in an excellent all-round performance. Tye was the pick of a fine attack. He ended with figures of 3 for 17, as he also had Salter held by Klinger. The game now well and truly over. 2 more points in the Vitality Blast bag. Higgins also bagged his 3rd wicket in the penultimate over, Klinger clinging on again to get rid of Tim van der Houten, the home side on their way to a 4th win from 6 in this competition. A wonderful start to their campaign. Higgins ended with 3 for 34 as Glamorgan stuttered to a final score of 167 for 9. The 30-run win ended a largely successful Cheltenham fortnight, Gloucestershire going into the weekend on top of the South Group. They return to T20 action in a rematch with Glamorgan in Cardiff next Friday, and they won't fear any team now.